Don't let me hear you say life's taking you nowhere. Angel, golden year. Go, what.
Hey there, welcome to Motorcycles and Misfits. Coming to you live from the recyclegarage in, I say sunny Santa Cruz, California, because it usually is.
It's partial.
It is. Hey, Emma, why don't you sing us in?
Ooh, a song.
I just got a note from Jim. Oh my God. So no, Jim has actually upped his game. He's actually handed me a fairly accurate representation of a willy and testicles in cartoon form. Oh. But he's added googly eyes to it, which
he really did up the game.
It's a cute little willy. Jim, thank you.
Oh, cheers. Well, it's actually a game because if you look on the flip side, there's googly eyes with nothing drawn.
Oh, I see. So one's bigger than the other, though.
And we can keep rotating. I brought back
I see. Okay, very good.
For everyone. Wow. And it's amazing. I think this beats the record. 30 seconds in and we're off the rails.
I don't think we actually got on the rails.
I think you said the word Emma.
Hey, everyone. This is Liza. Joining me in the studio today, running the board, it's Stumpy John.
Jingle bells, Batman smells, Robin laid an egg.
Yeah, you see, we don't sing that in England. It's Jingle Bells, Batman smells, Robin flew away, and the Batmobile lost a wheel when it landed in the hay.
And the Joker got away.
No, it's a different version, Liza. It's a different version, and it's a different version.
Wow.
Yours is a little lamer, though.
Oh, please.
I mean, come on. Robin flew away, or Robin
Well, no, he flew away. I mean, he hasn't got the equipment for laying an egg, has he?
And on the classic,
he's got the
on the classico couch tonight. And if you look closely, you might find some feathers on her. It's Miss Emma.
Quack, 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 quack. Hello, darlings. So we had free entertainment at the Recycle Garage today. No.
And joining us is Naked Jim.
Hey, what's up? I'm curious.
So we're sitting, and it's lunchtime, and Liza, God bless her. Oh, that reminds me. I owe you a tenner for the pasta. So we're all sitting, eating pizza and pasta, and there's feathers raining down on us from above.
Snowing feathers.
And I thought, this is quite interesting. You know, has an angel lost its wings? And we looked up, and there's a hawk or some bird of paradise tearing apart some poor little
bitchin'.
So we were having lunch, and the hawk was having its lunch as well, and it was just shredding this thing in the tree, and all the feathers were coming down. I have never seen anything like it.
Yes, they will pluck feathers and pluck and pluck and pluck.
Yes,
brilliant. Oh, that's cool. Was it on the outside though? Was it like in the shop?
No, it wasn't in the shop. It was in the tree.
That pear tree.
It was in that big tree.
Yeah, that's wild.
And the feathers were raining down on us. And
Wild
it was
kingdom.
Entertainment. But yeah, I mean, I guess hawks need Christmas dinner too.
Yeah, so it was so cool just watching this hawk.
Oh, I love that kind of shit.
Ripping apart this bird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
that is cool.
Nature.
And then Emma started singing The Circle of Life. It was really quite magical.
Not a lot happened in the garage today. We had a few people come by. Eric from last week came by, and he cleaned his chain.
That's a good thing to do.
Yeah, but we also just did some hanging out and maintenance. Oh, I got to separate washers today. That's one of the downsides of letting people into, use all the stuff in the garage, is that I pulled out my box of washers that are size 4 to size half inch, and they were all mixed up and had gravel in all the boxes. So somebody dropped it and just scooped them off the ground and threw them in the box.
Yeah.
Hey, and joining us, it's Bagel.
Hey,
Bagel, how you doing?
Howdy.
Bagel.
You getting snow up there?
It's a little chilly out here. Yeah, take a look.
You guys getting snow?
Oh, he's got snow.
Look at that.
Wow.
It's coming down right now as
Lord
we speak.
have mercy. That's beautiful. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Really cool.
We've gotten probably 4 inches so far.
Well, we've been having some rain, which is good, but there's lots of trees down, lots of roads collapsing, and ruts. Eric, who was here today on his KTM, he showed us pictures. He went to Hollister this week, and there was a rut that swallowed his KTM adventure.
Yes.
That was quite a rut.
I know. There's some
Ooh.
Oh,
crazy-
hello, Bagler. Nice
Yikes.
sweater.
Well, it looks like Liza's almost.
Hello.
Hey, I got a Christmas sweater too.
It's my dabbing Santa sweatshirt.
Oh, a little dabble, do ya?
Oh my word! You guys are nuts. Hey, did everyone have a good Christmas?
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
pretty good.
got some
Pretty
socks
Lukey.
Oh, you got
from
socks.
Jim.
Oh, the gift that keeps
you
on
know,
giving.
I love socks. In fact, Eric today taught us about some very fine socks.
Fine socks.
I might have to get them. They're called.
Possum.
No, hold on. Perry. No, he said. Was it Pearly?
Pearly. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
pearly.
pearly. Like pearly gates.
Pearly. Pearly possum moto socks.
Made purely out of possum.
Apparently, they are they use possum hair. It's like a cashmere made of possum hair. And they are biker socks. They cost like $58 a pair, but they're the warmest socks you can get.
For
And
possum socks.
From Australia.
That is.
You ever seen a possum crawl out the ass end of a dead deer?
Oh no.
Yeah. They sound great.
You know what? I may have to treat myself. Check it out. Pearly possum socks.
I know you like
And
to
they're
treat
designed
yourself,
for
yeah.
bikers.
That's cool. Socks are important. I'm a big fan.
I can't get the picture of the possum crawling out.
I mean, I have
possums.
questions.
They're cool.
Though.
Yes.
I mean, do they shave the possums? How
I'm not
does this
asking
work?
questions. I'm not
So
asking questions.
if they do that, then at some job centre in Australia, there is an opening for a possum shaver.
Oh, yes.
And I mean, that would be a career.
Oh, man.
That would actually be a career that would require, some degree of training, I feel. There might, you might be able to go to university to study it. I'm an undergraduate in possum plucking.
Yes. Advanced degree in Merkins.
How do the possums feel about all of this?
I don't know.
Well,
I'm
Australian
having trouble with
possums, I feel, are different to
Maybe there's
American
enough
ones.
roadkill. I don't know.
Well,
Jim got
I'm
his.
sure it beats,
So,
it beats being
Bagel,
roadkill.
let me bring you up to speed.
Yes.
Jim has brought to the studio tonight some adhesive googly eyes and a
Googly
notepad. And so he's put googly eyes, and Emma and Jim are passing notes back and forth and drawing characters onto the googly eyes.
All right.
You like that?
I got your distraction right here.
Why
not
why do I
one-eyed
imagine
willies.
why do I imagine they're only using one googly eye at a time?
No,
Right?
there's
I thought about that. Anyways, you're going to have to edit all this out.
Hey, it's Christmas, innit, eh?
Hey.
Okay.
Cool, blimey.
Hey, another thing that reminded me of, it being winter, it being cold. Eric, who was here, he just left on his KTM, but he has, for warmth, he has hippo hands on his motorcycle. Are you familiar with hippo hands, Jim?
I am, yes.
Do you know
Yeah.
who invented them?
Vetter, I believe.
That's right.
Yeah, ding, ding.
And
Nice.
so I was telling him the history of, how Craig, this is just another thing that Craig Vetter invented.
Yeah.
And what's fascinating, Craig, if you go to his site, he has a whole page for hippo hands, and he talks about the story of inventing them. And he's got all sorts of great
Yeah,
pictures.
it was cold.
No, so he was out on a ride with a bunch of friends, and here's how he invented them. His hands were freezing. He had a down sleeping bag with him, and he was trying to figure out how to wrap the sleeping bag around his hands. So he got duct tape and wrapped the sleeping bag around the handlebars, leaving these little entrance holes to the grips, and got the great idea to create hippo hands, which Emma, can you describe hippo hands for people who don't know what they are?
Hippo hands are, I suppose the best way to describe it, it's like a funny little rigid sleeping bag that turns through 90 degrees. Mm-hmm. So
it's like a boot.
It is like a boot.
A slip-in mitten.
That you clamp on your handlebar and you stick your hand in the open end, and it's warm, isn't it, eh?
In fact, in a pinch, I've seen people buy rubber boots, and you can cut the toe off.
Is that Popeye?
No, you cut the toe off and you slide it up over your controls. And duct tape it to your bars.
I've seen people duct tape, take a milk carton, a gallon milk jug, and cut those up. And
that's a great idea.
Yeah, in fact, I was looking at Z Traveler. Her hands were cold on her Versus, and she went to like Target or something and bought little garbage cans that have the corners, because it's like a little square garbage can.
Yeah,
and you can cut it and use those corners to fabricate big handguards.
Interesting.
That you can zip tie on.
That's cool.
So it's fascinating that there's this whole like history of how do you keep your hands warm, and then all these tricks and hacks.
Yeah,
I'm curious what other people have discovered. I mean, we have our heated grips, and that usually just does the job.
Right.
But Emma, have you seen any other hacks for keeping your hands warm?
Oh yes.
Milk jugs or
it's milk jugs, bleach bottles. It's the same thing. I mean, I used to hang out with a bunch of dispatch riders in England back in the 90s. I mean, in the 80s and
1890s?
Cavalry.
Yes, exactly, the cavalry. But no, you could make a really good living being a document dispatch rider. Not so much in Birmingham. A lot of these guys worked in London. And they came up with the craziest friggin' hacks to keep their hands warm, because it was, 12-month-a-year job, and it gets rather cold. And the usual one is just get a bleach bottle, and they're nice and big, and you kind of cut it top to bottom, so now you've got the two halves.
Like a clamshell.
Yeah, like a clamshell, and then you just stick a load of fleece in the thing and just clamp it around your handlebar.
Look at that, or newspaper.
Yeah, a lot of it's just directing that air away from your hands. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It looks absolutely ridiculous.
A trick I used to do when I used to ride in Boston is I had a windbreaker that I wore over my jacket, like a big oversized windbreaker, and the sleeves were long enough I could pull them down over and around my hands on the grips.
Nice.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Just keeping it
And it
out of
made
the wind.
a world of difference.
Bagel, what are you riding up there in the old chilly, wet Pacific Northwest? What are you doing for?
I ain't riding anything right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
we've lost you, Bagel.
No,
No.
he's there.
I'm here.
Oh, there you are. You're back.
Hello. Yes.
Hello.
Yes. Yeah, it's all the roads are all slushy and snow covered right now. I'm not going out and riding anything.
Do you have a wet weather glove you like?
Well, I do have wet weather gloves. They're sort of a thicker insulated glove, and they have a built-in rain cover that there's a little zippered pouch on the back, like the
I've seen those, and there's like a mitten that goes over the top.
Yep, exactly. It's got the sort of the Spock fingers, with two slot for two fingers in each, and it works pretty well. And I've also used that in the cold as well to cut the air. Yeah. And it does a great job.
Because this is as good a point of reminding people, just in case they don't know, you're just starting out buying gear for your hands. I mean, leather is definitely, don't do that, Jim. It makes you look cheap. Leather offers the best protection. But you really have to get very creative to get leather to be waterproof. So the ideal is leather for protection and then something waterproof that goes over the top.
Yeah, I had something that I forgot about. I heard it from someone on the podcast, but I think it's Touratech makes them. And I used them a couple of winters ago when I was riding a lot in the rain, and they're basically waterproof mittens. But I think they were from Touratech. They were pretty cheap, and just put them over your regular gloves, and they were great, but very simple. They were simple.
You know what used to be more common, I think, and I'm sure you've seen it, how they have the little rain mitten there's a zipper cuff.
Yes.
Yeah,
and there's
that's what I was talking about.
Yeah, the pouch.
Saying,
yeah. You pull it up over. I remember, God, it's been years since I've had something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that hippo hands is very similar to a headlight modulator. In that it is a great item and it does a good job, but it's so goofy looking, most people don't want to use it.
I don't know. If you're somewhere where it's that cold, I think you're down.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter at that point.
You just hang on, because I think in a lot of ways we're seeing this thing out of context. If you look... You like that, Jim?
Oh, geez, I just saw. So now I got a googly-eyed octopus, but he has 9 arms.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
You two are the worst.
As the inventor of the hippo hands, he made them so you could build them in with the windjammer fairing.
Mm-hmm.
And it looked a little less goofy when it's bolted in that giant fairing, I guess.
Yeah. Well, when I see people using them, they're usually like in these crazy cold places.
Yeah.
And you're like, good Lord.
Right.
Where you're like...
Snowmobiles.
Or just like people, riding bikes in the snow, down Alaska or wherever. And you're like...
Yeah, but they're... Yeah, but that's that kind of stuff is really popular in Europe too, because especially on scooters, they ride them year round a lot of places, and it's a great way to stay warm.
Yeah, but that's why I say, like with hippo hands, like I said, the headlight modulator. I'm gonna have to keep thinking. There are things, there are inventions, there are accessories, there are components to motorcycles that aren't commonly in use. Sometimes it's because they're just goofy looking, or maybe they're too expensive, but they're good thing that does a good job.
Well,
but it ties into the next subject I wanted to bring in, because a conversation I was having with Emma years ago. I saw some video. I think it was some video, and they were talking about the best suspension front end you can put on a motorcycle. And at the time, I don't remember if it was Bimota or was it the Gurney? Did the Gurney have this front end?
Yes, I think so.
I think it was the Gurney. I think it was Dan Gurney talking about it doesn't make sense. All these front ends that we use, they're made to take the impact and then it sends it right up into the chassis. So you have to come up with a very good suspension to combat that, right?
Yes.
But if you have what's called a hub center,
well,
what's it called again?
Yeah, I mean the hub center's a type of it, yes, but a hub center steering with
is that what was on the Gurney bike?
Yeah, if you have a front end suspension that comes out from the bottom of the frame and comes out forward, now it is absorbing the shock without transferring any of it to the chassis.
Right.
Right?
Right.
It's like, just think like a fork that's pivoting on its own.
If you want to see an example of this, the easiest one is the Bimota Tessie.
Yeah. So you can also, Bimota Hub Center, there's a broken down diagram to show. So...
As opposed to a broken down misfit like
no,
me.
It's like, and so I always remember, like, well, wait a minute.
Right. It's like a rear shock.
If that,
It's like a swing arm.
It's like a swing arm on the front.
Okay.
Well, and like, if that is the best kind of front end you can have, then why aren't more people using it?
There's a lot of reasons for that.
There are reasons.
So I asked Emma, let's talk about front ends, because even on most of our bikes where we have, regular forks, where you have the larger tube down at the bottom and the smaller tube at the top, and then they have inverted forks. Why?
There's a very good reason for that.
And what about Springer and girder and what are the BMW, what's that called?
Paralever? Nope.
Telelever.
Telelever. So it just made me think, well, wait a minute. There's a lot of different front ends. Let's talk about why. Bagel, are Vespas, are they telelever?
No, they're leading link. Single-sided.
Single-sided.
Or I'm sorry, a trailing link.
A trailing link.
Trailing. Okay.
Yeah.
So all of those matter. I wanted to get into a little bit because we were talking about we're saying 3 main functions of the front end.
Yes.
Okay. The first to be a shock absorber, impact, right?
Yes.
The second is for steering.
Yes.
And then the third is braking.
Yes. 1, 2, 3.
Many choppers only have 2. And then you have front ends, like on my my Springer front end. It was offset. And even though it was great at shock absorbing, it was horrible for steering.
Yes.
Right.
Right.
So, Emma, let's talk about, are there any types of front end systems that I didn't mention yet?
Well, I mean, we could talk about this all night because people have come up with some really wild and wacky ideas over the years. So let's talk about the most common ones. And the most common front end in use right now is telescopic, and there's a lot of advantages with a telescopic front end. There's a huge amount of disadvantages. But that's the one we're kind of stuck with, so I'll leave that one to last. What we really have is the development of the motorcycle from the bicycle. The earliest motorcycles were designed from bicycles because it's quite obvious that bicycles predate motorcycles by how many hundred years? And there's a lot of characteristics that are the same. So if we look at bicycle design, and we look at the front end of a bicycle, the pivot point is high on the frame. And then the forks extend down, support the wheel, and then the handlebars are attached to it. And that's basically what we were stuck with. Now, the English manufacturers tended to favour what was called a girder fork. And a girder fork was a pair of yokes that were either side of the steering bearing at the top of the frame. And then there were two links on either side which supported this parallelogram-shaped structure which went all the way from the top to the wheel axle. And the whole thing moved up and down. It was immensely rigid. It was very, very strong. It was very stable. The disadvantage was it was heavy and it was all unsprung weight. And we need to talk a little bit about unsprung weight and what it is and why it's a disadvantage. Unsprung weight is basically the mass of the object that goes up and down with the bumps on the road. So if you hit a bump, what's going up and down? So let's consider a modern bike. What's going up and down is the tire and wheel itself, the discs, the calipers, and the lower part of the fork, whether they're upside down forks or regular forks, and probably the fender as well. If that is very, very heavy and you're moving a great mass up and down, you really need to beef up the suspension a great deal to compensate for it. And it has very, very detrimental effects on the handling because you have this great mass going up and down and you've got to compensate for that. Front ends needed to be huge. And so what we did was we got away from heavy steel wheels with spokes and now aluminum wheels. You got thin rotors, you got lightweight calipers, lightweight forks, and it's really, really helped the situation. The biggest issue with girder forks was they were very, very heavy. Unsprung weight, they were great for sidecar rigs, but for solo rigs, not so good. Americans tended to favour the Springer front end. Mm-hmm. And the Springer front end was similar to the girder, but instead of having a whole structure that moved up and down, you have one set of, for want of a better term, rods in front of the other.
Which kind of makes sense. You have the front forks that are taking the impact, where the rear forks aren't moving.
They aren't moving.
Yeah.
It's got Springer front ends are quite interesting. Once again, they are quite heavy. Mm-hmm. The unsprung weight, again, is not as great as the girder front end. But there's still quite a bit of mass there to move up and down. But it does have some anti-dive characteristics depending on how you mount the front brake. The big problem we have with all front ends on bikes, we expect a great deal of them. Mm-hmm. And each function can have a drastic effect on the others. Braking can have a drastic effect on how the front end moves. If you've got a front end that dives very, very heavily under braking, Now your suspension is compromised because you've got the brakes on. Conversely, if you've got a front end that's very, very stiff to compensate for braking, the steering of the bike may be really heavy or really light, depending on how it's set up. Do you want me to go through rake and trail and what that kind of means?
I mean, briefly.
So rake and trail, they're kind of two sides of the same coin, but there are ways around it. So rake is the amount the forks are kicked out on the bike.
Right. So if the forks are going straight down...
Well, that wouldn't fly, because if that would have zero rake and the bike would be so unstable, it would basically fall over itself.
Yeah.
So you need the forks going out at an angle. Now, incidentally, cars do the same thing. The front suspension on cars are always kind of angled back like forks, except on a car it's called caster. But it's the same thing. It's basically the pivot point is back at an angle.
Right.
So as a general rule of thumb, and remember, this is just a very, very general rule of thumb, the more kicked out the forks are on a bike, the more stable it is in a straight line. So if you had a freeway cruiser, big, heavy freeway cruiser, it would behoove you to have the front end sticking out quite a long way, very long wheelbase bike, very stable in a straight line, but very lazy around the corners. That might not be an issue.
My custom chopper had 6-inch over Springer front end with an added 5% rake.
There you go.
Yeah.
So probably very stable on the freeway. Great place to be, but lousy around the corners.
Oh, because it was offset. Because the front wheel is attached to the front forks, the chassis is attached to the rear forks, and they're offset just by inches. But that was enough that I remember the first time I got on it and rode it, you make a right turn and the bike kicks out to the left. You make a left turn, the bike kicks out to the right because it's creating a pivot. Does that make sense?
What?
Yes, very strange.
Yeah.
So the rake is the amount the forks are kicked out on the bike, and that's expressed in degrees. The trail is kind of the same side of the coin, and the best way to describe the trail is the forks are kicked out at an angle. If you were to extend the line of the forks straight down to a point in the road and draw a chalk line, then if you were to take the point where the axle is, go vertically down and draw a line, you'd see there's a distance there. And that's the trail. It's the imaginary line versus where the actual axle is. A very, very loose analogy is when you push a shopping cart and it's got the caster wheels on it, they always kind of turn backwards. That's kind of a trail. Rake and trail. And so the longer, the further forward your forks are kicked out, the greater the trail will be. And the greater the trail is, the lazier the handling of the bike gets. Now, so we've got the forks, the front end of the bike, doing three things: braking, steering, suspension.
I was going to say, and also on a Springer, it doesn't really have a damper built into it.
Well, no, you can build a damper into it at the top, but
it is a bit
having
springy.
This additional weight at the top, right on the crown of the steering, is not ideal.
Yeah.
Also, girders had damping built in, but they weren't damping like you think. It was damping in terms of a disc, and where the forks pivoted around their arms, there'd be a large disc that was made out of brake pad material, just a circular disc, and there'd be a metal plate on either side with a wheel that you spin down on it, and that would damp the forks. Very rudimentary, but effective.
So let's get to telescoping, which is the most common, and upside down. Why upside down?
Okay, upside down is very, very simple. If we consider a conventional fork, the diameter of the parts that carry the brake caliper, the wheel axle, the fender mounts, a larger diameter because they're sliding over the tubes, which we call the stanchions in England. The stanchions are the parts that actually bolt to the frame via the triple trees, which we call the yokes in England, or the bridge. If you flip it upside down, the larger diameter part, the stronger part, is actually in the clamps, in the yokes, triple trees, bridges, whatever you want to call them. It's a far more rigid affair. Also, especially with the newer lighter weight steel, the unsprung weight can be less because now the axle and the caliper mounts are on the stanchions. And yes, you'd say, well, they're made out of steel. Mm-hmm. How can they be lighter than the aluminum? Well, you'd be surprised. They sometimes they can get very, very light. So you have a number of advantages. You have a far more rigid setup. You can have these giant triple trees that don't allow any flex. You can have less unsprung weight, and altogether, it's a far more rigid setup. So you're going to say to me, why don't all bikes have it?
Yeah.
Well,
why don't all bikes have it?
There is a problem with real estate. Because if you've got all this mass up top, you tend to find that bikes with upside-down forks, especially ones with a full fairing, haven't got a massive range of movement in the steering. And if that's the case, you might not get the turning characteristics you want, because whether you like it or not, you're going to need to have to turn the handlebars. Manufacturing costs come into it as well. It's upside-down forks have their place, just as conventional forks have their place. They can, surprisingly enough, be a little more fragile. They can be a little more prone to blown forks upside down, just because of the way they carry their oil. So, advantages, disadvantages.
I do notice in a lot of the builds that you do, I'm thinking of Tubbo and the Guzzi and others, you always seem to switch out the front end. You always go to switch out the forks.
Well, I do, because generally, we've talked many, many times about where manufacturers are going to cut costs, and they will always cut costs on suspension. So the cheapest component of most bikes that you buy is going to be the suspension, because there's nowhere else really to cut costs. So it's an easy upgrade. In the case of Tubbo, I went for a far bigger than original. Because remember, Tubbo's a 1976 bike. So the original front forks on that bike were about the size of your pinky finger.
Mm-hmm. And you do like a tougher stance.
And I like a big, burly front end. Yeah. You know, I like the very, very forward design bikes.
Yeah, you do.
Yes.
But do you typically you get like Japanese sport bikes, don't you? Now
yeah.
For front ends, yeah.
Yeah, but none of my bikes have upside down forks on them.
Well, and part of the problem there is that the part you need to keep cleanest is now closest to the road.
Right.
Right? Because you need that to stay clean, because the seals are going up and down over it, and that's why a lot of our dirt bikes have the big shields on
right.
them. Or you
very
see like flat
susceptible
tractors,
to damage.
stuff like that.
And, you know, in terms of manufacturing, now you've got a chrome tube, and you've got to figure out some way you're going to attach wheel axle, calipers, fender mounts on the bottom of this tube. And usually it's a two-piece affair. You have a steel tube with a cast or a forged aluminum piece that is somehow attached on the end. And that serves as a mount for all your gubbins that's going to go on. I like upside down front ends. I seem to gravitate away from them on my builds though. Tubbo's got a front. What is a front end from Tubbo? Concourse, I believe.
Yeah.
I put in front end from a Concourse on Tubbo, and the Guzzi had a front end, I believe. Yeah, it was from a Ducati Monster. A monster.
So Emma, I was looking at the old ELF GP bikes. Was that a girder front end, or what was that?
No, that's a French hub center steering bike. Okay. That was the worst handling GP bike ever made.
Girder, think of very old Harley Davidsons.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
No. Yeah.
So, well, let's talk about. I mean, it's as good a place as any to talk about what a hub center.
Is this a girder?
That's a Springer.
Springer.
We will see if we can dig out some pictures of girder front ends and put them on our website. How about that?
They became fashionable again, and they became fashionable in custom choppers.
Well, you know, certainly the British scene in the 1980s, there was a huge, it's got a sway of doing very traditional English-style choppers, which usually involved having a BSA or a Triumph engine. And girder forks. But I tell you what, some of these things were heavy as heck.
Okay, telelever. So BMW comes along and they invent what they think is superior front end. Explain telelever. Because if you've ever looked at it, it's not attached. You have like your handlebars and triple trees up top. And then you have these tubes and you know forks down below. And then you look up in the middle, they're not attached.
Well, so a telelever, the way a telelever works is everything is suspended from a giant swing arm that comes off the front of the frame. And the swing arm carries its own shock absorber and its own spring. So that's doing the hard work. And then there's a bridge that comes down that carries really small diameter fork legs that support the wheel, the caliper, and then they extend up, and there's a bridge on it that you can bolt your handlebars to. It's an amazing setup.
So this isn't a single rear shock. This is still two?
No, it's got one shock.
Yeah, just one
single shock.
Okay,
yeah, telelever's got single shock.
So,
and the fork legs themselves, they're very, very small diameter. They do carry oil, but it's mostly for lubrication. Most of the damping's covered in the shock on that big central arm. It is the easiest bike in the world to change the fork seals on. Because you undo the top nut and push the fork legs down and turn the handlebars, and you can just pull the fork legs out, pull the fork seals out, put new ones in, put fork legs in. You can do the fork seals in a telelever probably in about half an hour for both.
And I was thinking of the duo lever. That's what was in like my RT.
The duo lever.
That's what I was talking about. That's not connected.
That's a little more complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where you have the like cast forks coming down, and then you have your triples up top, but they're not attached in the middle.
Yeah.
They're two different components.
The duo lever was really a prototype front end that somehow made it into production. The telelever is a lot simpler. It's a lot easier to maintain. It's a lot more cost effective to build, and it's kind of it's BMW's go-to front suspension for now.
And then we've talked about before the Britain, right?
Yeah, the Britain. Yeah.
What kind does it have?
That had a form of girder.
That's not telelever. Well, it's like a weird L shape.
Yes, it's a Britain.
Yeah, it's a Britain.
I mean, and this is why I said at the beginning, there's 1,000 manufacturers who've done their own thing. The Britain, I think, had an equal length wishbones on it, if I remember right.
Let me see.
It was a very much a one-off.
There's a naked Britain on display right now.
Oh, let me see that.
Here, hand that over. It looks like a dual lever.
Yeah, I have no idea how to explain it.
Yeah, I think it's a dual lever.
Let's have a look, see what they've got going on. Yeah, it's got a little in common with the BMW setup. It's kind of a one-off. It's got elements of a girder system on it. It pivots about there's a pivot at the back and there's a pivot at the top. So basically what you can't actually see, there are wishbones on it. And there's a wishbone right above the exhaust system. There's a wishbone at the top of the crown. And then the L shape pivots up and above them. Yeah. The advantage of this is in effect a girder front end. But what makes it different from the girders of my youth when everything was powered by steam?
When they were actually made with girders.
Yes. Well, and there it is. Rivets. This is carbon fiber and it probably weighs nothing.
Yeah.
Unsprung weight, remember? So, God, that's exotic. But let's talk about Hub Center.
Yeah, let's talk about Hub Center.
So, what you've basically got, a Hub Center is a swing arm that comes off the front of the frame. It could be a single one, it could be a twin one, but it's a swing arm that comes off the front of the frame. On the end of that swing arm, there is a knuckle, and the knuckle supports the front wheel, the calipers, the rotors, usually a single. Mm-hmm. And then there are arms coming off with linkages that you can use to actually steer the bike. Mm-hmm. Now, the advantage of a hub center is it separates the elements. It separates braking from suspension work, from damping, and it separates steering from both of them. So each element, whether you're steering, whether you're braking, or whether you're traversing a bumpy road, can be considered on its own merits rather than one affecting the other. And that's one of the great advantages of it. You can brake as hard as you want with a hub center and it won't dive. And you can be braking hard and the steering is completely unaffected by the braking.
Looks like it's really hard to keep straight, though. There's a lot of pivot points, a lot of things that adjust.
And that's one of the great disadvantages of it. I mean, any time, and that's the Bimotor one, and like anything that Bimotor makes, it's overly complex. The better one to look at is the one on the Yamaha GTS, which is a lot more simplified. However, the big disadvantage is it's a complex piece of machinery. Right. And when you have so many pivot points, it doesn't take long. There's a couple of thou play in this one and a couple of thou play in that one, and it gets really baggy.
Well, let's go back to the three major functions that a front end needs to do.
Steering.
So the first being absorbing shock.
Right.
So this one, check.
Yes.
It does really good. The third being braking. This one does it great because you're not going to be diving as much because you can brake as hard as you want, and in addition, with an effective ABS braking setup on it, you could outbrake anything on the road. Yeah, so you're taking away a lot of the dive factor the way it's set up. So that's superior, but steering, which is, we can agree, probably the most important function of a front
steering
end.
Is perfect when
where it gets complicated.
Well, and it's complex to get that feel, and you have to have a lot of very, very accurate Heim joints and a very, very clever amount of math technology to get them to steer well, and maintaining that. Aligning everything is absolutely crucial on them.
Well, and because you need to go through, so the axle is the axis of the wheel. So that's why on my Springer that was offset. Right. It wasn't steering on the axis, it was steering off axis, which affected the whole bike when you turn. So on a hub center, how are they reaching the axis when you're not accessing it from straight? You're not coming from both sides going to the axis, right?
No,
so the axis is now the base of the knuckle, which is not exactly lined up with the axle?
It's canted so that they compensate for it.
Okay.
So the axis on a true hub center, what you have is you have the swing arm coming forward, and then at the end of the arm, it turns in. And then is supported there, turned in. And so when you bolt the wheel on, it becomes far more centralized.
And so now what you have to do is, because you have this single-sided,
yes,
you need to have clearance for the wheel to pivot. So now it has to be rounded, arched, right? To allow for that.
Yes.
So now...
But that can be an advantage because now you're adding strength.
Okay. Yeah. Strength, but you're making it longer, so there's more potential for flex.
Right. Yes.
So it becomes more complicated.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very, very complex. And that's really its downfall. It's very, very complex to make. It's very, very complex to maintain. If somebody brought in a bike to me, if somebody brought in either a Tessie or a GTS 1000 to Motortown, said I've crashed it and I've knocked the front end alignment, I would instantly have a nervous breakdown. And I'd probably go home.
So not that many bikes use it. So here's something interesting. I was just
how old do you think that setup is?
Oh,
80s.
I mean, it's engineering, so I don't know, 70s, 80s. Oh, wait, no, metallurgy has a lot to do with it, as we've learned. Metallurgy is often the advancement.
First bike to have a hub center steering.
Well, the Bimota is the first one I ever saw it on. But if Gurney, I don't remember if it was Gurney talking about it. So I'll say late 80s.
1920.
Wow,
What?
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
1920. And it was rudimentary, but there was this device called the Nera car in 1920.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Bagel knows what a Nera car
Yep.
is.
It was
And
a
that had a
Peterson.
rudimentary form of hub center steering.
We need to go back there, Jim.
Yeah.
That was a good time. So here's something interesting, because we say, so if it is superior in braking and in handling, and you have to overcome engineering for the steering, for the weight, for the value and all that, do you think it's going to become more popular in use?
I think it might. I think we're moving into an area where technology is going to become, I think, perhaps more important than it is now. And let me quantify that, because that sounds kind of an odd statement. As we move away from internal combustion bikes and go into electric bikes, there's no real difference in performance between all of them. They're all going to be fast as hell, and they're all going to be governed down to a top speed of probably 100 miles an hour or less. So what's going to distinguish the manufacturers, and what's going to get people's juices flowing down at the coffee bar, is what is the technology that's built into your bike. And whether that's electrical technology or chassis technology, it doesn't matter. That's what's going to make the manufacturer stand out.
Do you know who owns 49.9% of Bimoto motorcycles?
No.
Kawasaki Heavy Industries.
Well,
Wow.
And did you know that last year Kawasaki filed a patent for their own hub center steering system? Yes. They show some plans for a very simple hub center steering system.
and this is why I think, you're going to have Kawasaki, Honda, Suzuki, Yamaha, all with electric propulsion, and all the flagship bikes are going to perform about the same. So how are we going to distinguish them? How are we going to say, aside from the fact that, yes, that one's, obviously Suzuki, that one's obviously Yamaha. So we're going to see a lot more interesting technology in chassis, in electrical, in just things that are really going to distinguish them.
Well, I hadn't thought about it, but the few times we've seen the electric bikes in the dirt perform, and I assume it translates to street as well, it's all about traction, right? And the big part of traction is going to be suspension. I hadn't really thought about it, but you would imagine maybe that's where the new bling comes from, is how do you keep the wheel connected to the ground with those quick electric motors?
Right.
Yeah.
When the BMW, the thousands first came out, everyone was like, this thing is just amazing, because the technology was based on not only has it got 200 horsepower, but it was all this amazing technology to be able to use it. And so I definitely think that's the direction these things are going to go in.
Now, the current model GP bikes, they're mostly conventional forks, right, or upside down forks. Is that correct, or is anybody running
Telescoping?
Yeah.
Yeah, telescopic.
Yeah.
Well, there are a great many advantages. I don't want anyone to think that we're getting short shrift. Telescopic forks are very, very simple in design. They're very strong. They're very, very easy to tune. And they're very easy to tune trackside. Mm-hmm. And that's an important thing. Mm-hmm. Because if you're out on a race day and you want to stiffen up your suspension, oftentimes, a few flicks of the wrist with a wrench and a screwdriver work, and you've stiffened up the front end. Mm-hmm. It's that quick. It's very, very easy to tune a telescopic front end.
And you're going to be at a disadvantage if you have a bike that takes hours to set up the front end.
Right.
Exactly.
And in a longer race, if you get anywhere on those components at all and it starts steering peculiarly, that super high-tech front end can actually become a disadvantage. And that Elf that you were talking about, John, I mean, that thing was an absolute terror. When it was good, but more often than not, it was throwing its riders off with all kinds of abandon.
I have a question. Looking at the new bikes coming out, because I might be in the market for a street bike in the next year. Imagine that. Well, the technology, right? EBS. I would not mind having EBS. But what about the new electronic adjustable suspensions? The ones with the wire going into the top. Is that money well spent, or does it pin?
Yeah, I mean, it's quite established technology. It's all magnetic. So basically, the way it works is you have an electromagnet in the damping itself, and when you flick the switch, the magnet moves, restricts the amount of movement the oil can have within the fork, and either stiffens it up or lightens it. It's very established technology. Yeah, I think that's money well spent.
Yeah, and we didn't even get into like Honda's anti-dive system. I mean, you could really deep dive.
Oh no, and I mean, it's all since the beginning of time. Manufacturers have tried to separate the big three: braking, steering, suspension work,
right,
and make each one function completely independently of the other one. The only suspension setup that truly does that is the hub center. In the 80s, Honda really dove deep into anti-dive, and they came up with all these incredible creations, some of which worked, some of which didn't. And all the manufacturers had anti-dive. I think one of the best, actually, I want to say, was Kawasaki on the GPZs. Of course, I call them GPZs. Which made them betterer. But mostly they worked on hydraulic pressure, and when you squeezed the brake, the pressure pushed out the pistons in the calipers and gripped the rotors, and you stopped. But also that same pressure would jump forward into a valve sitting on front of the forks, and it'd do the same thing. It would close up the free movement of oil, and the forks in it would in effect lock.
So, I just wanted to bring up hub center steering. It's something I've known about for decades.
It's brilliant.
But always wondered why we didn't see it more often. There's.
Tell me why.
There's high technology there, but now I want to get to some low technology. Because it's time for a new segment we're trying out.
Ooh,
This is called Debate Club. All right. Jim and Bagel have no idea what's about to happen.
We need a theme song.
I know. You know what? I thought it'd be fun to do a good debate. And so I've got the subject tonight is the Kawasaki KLR versus the Suzuki DR650. They're very similar bikes, but there's pros and cons to each.
Yes.
So I thought it'd be fun to get in a good old debate. John, which bike will you be taking tonight?
I will be taking the KLR650.
Okay. And Emma, what bike will you be taking tonight?
DR650.
Okay. So here's how it's going to work. Bagel and Jim, Bagel has now stepped away. Your jobs are going to be judges. I will just be moderating.
Hang on, Bagel's got beer.
I'm here. I just need to get another beer.
Did you bring enough?
I'm going to need a beer for this.
So your jobs will be to judge. I'm going to moderate. The way it's going to work, each of you are going to have 3 minutes for your opening statement to say why you think
this is
your
David
bike
and Goliath. I'm just saying
is best. Okay. Please do not interrupt the other. Then you will have what I say, like 60 seconds to respond with, what's the word? Comebacks. Rebuttal. For your rebuttal, we'll go back and forth a few times, and then I will give Jim and Bagel some opportunities to ask some questions, and then Jim and Bagel will decide who is the winner of the debate. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Everyone understand?
I should get some sort of a handicap on this because I have to go against Emma.
Oh, John. How about this? Emma, would you be willing to go first?
Yeah, I'd be happy to go first.
Okay. You don't have to use the whole 3 minutes. I'm going to give you 3 minutes. Are you ready to go?
Yes.
And begin.
Okay. So what we're dealing with here is dealing with two very similar bikes. And I think the important thing that I want to stress is the KLR650 is not a bad bike in any way, shape or form. I mean, it's inferior to the DR650 in every way, but it's not a bad bike. These are very, very similar bikes. My job is just going to be pointing out the differences that I think make the DR650 a better bike. It's a simpler bike. The KLR is water-cooled for a start. The carburation is vague, to say the least. It produces less horsepower. It produces less torque. It's 50 pounds heavier. It's an older design. It's a way older design. And I hear everyone say, well, just hang on a minute. The DR's been going since the 80s, and it has, but it did have a major revamp about 25 years ago. So these are both very old designs. The KLR still very much rides like an 80s bike. The DR rides like a far more modern bike. One of the big advantages of the DR, it has two suspension settings, majorly different suspension settings built in from the factory. If you take out the rear shock and reverse the lowering links, you can drop the back 2 inches without spending a penny. On the KLR, you have to spend money to do that. It pulls its power in a different way. From the lights, the KLR has the edge on power. However, the DR produces more power in the mid-range and continues to build power when the KLR goes flat. It's a far livelier bike to ride. And in conclusion, it's a better looking bike. And there's no question of that. This is absolutely not up for debate. The DR650 always has been and always will be an extremely handsome bike, no matter what colour they come in. You look at it and go, oh, that is a good-looking bike. And God knows, as much as I like KLR 650s, you can never describe them as being good-looking. Utilitarian, but not good-looking.
Okay. You are under 3 minutes. Thank you.
Okay.
I have to say, it was very hard for me not to respond. That was hard. All right, John, you will have 3 minutes. Are you ready?
Yes.
Begin.
Okay, so first thing I'll say is beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I think the KLR is a beautiful motorcycle as it is. It's agricultural, yes, but it still is beautiful in its own way. The water cooling, I'll say, is a plus and a minus. I guess it depends on how you feel. I think it gives you a little more protection in higher temperatures, although you do get a little bit of extra weight. But I think, ultimately water cooling is clearly better. I would argue that the KLR is a better all-around motorcycle. I will give the DR a little bit of credit for dirt, being a little more agile in the dirt, but I think the KLR is better getting to the dirt, especially if you're going long distances, including has a much better fairing setup, and so it's got better wind protection. So it has a larger gas tank stock, so you don't need to spend money. So you may need to spend a little money on suspension, but you don't need to spend money on a larger gas tank. I think it has a couple gallons more than the DR, and most people are swapping those out for other gas tanks. So from the factory, the KLR comes with a plastic skid plate, which isn't the greatest in the world, but it's better than no skid plate, which is on the DR. It has a factory rack. Again, it's only limited to 11 pounds, but then again, the DR has no rack, and a windshield, and it has a tachometer, which the DR does not have. So the DR has almost no instruments other than a speedometer. The online support for the KLR is vast, extremely greater than the DR. I mean, you can pretty much get any kind of support in the forums that you need for a KLR 650. Both bikes have a lot of aftermarket parts, but the KLR simply has more. So there's more companies to produce parts for the KLR than ever for the DR. So you can really do a whole list of customizations based on what's out there. The KLR arguably is much more comfortable. It has a Unitrack shock suspension that effectively dampens everything and gives it a very much more smoother ride. Again, hence better on the street. The rear suspension, and we can get into the argument. I do like the fact that you can switch the shock on a DR, but KLR also comes stock with a 5-way preload, so you can actually dial it in much more better out the gate. And I will say the game changer really is Generation 3 has changed everything. So making the DR practically outdated. So the Gen 3 has 3 options based on what your preference is for the type of bike that you want. It's got fuel injection. It's got better colors, and is arguably a prettier bike too for the Gen 3. The base price for the DR is actually exactly the same as the KLR Gen 3. So arguably, again, you're getting better technology, including a much better screen. It has a digital screen on it too, and the ABS option on the Gen 3 is much. There's no ABS option for the DR.
And time. Perfect. All right. Emma, would you like to use your 60-second rebuttal?
No, I mean, I think you have to figure these bikes both on their own merits.
I need a yes or no so I can run the timer.
No.
Do you want? No, you're passing on your rebuttal.
No, I'm good.
John, do you need your 60 seconds?
Well, I'll take some of it. Yeah. So I would just say the DR is, again, it's a wonderful bike. Both of these are very similar. I agree with Emma on that. You couldn't go wrong with either one. But if I was to buy one of the two, which I did, I went with the KLR because of the legs and the difference in terms of being on the street longer and the options that are out there in terms of customization. And I just think for your money and for what you can do to the bike, you can make it almost as good as the DR off-road, but you get the better on-road components.
Okay, thank you. All right, now we'll go to the judges. Judges, you can ask one question of each of them, and you will have 30 seconds to respond to that question. Jim, do you have a question for either of them?
Yeah, it could be for both. Tell me the advantages, because everybody takes these bikes on these big, long adventures to South America and Ecuador. Tell me the advantages of your bike traveling through remote areas where you really need reliability. I would imagine carburation, but whatever.
All right, we will have Emma go first. Are you ready?
I am.
And go.
When you're in a remote area, simplicity is everything. And the DR is a simpler bike. And the fact of the matter is, there are far more world travelers on DR650s right now than there are on KLRs, as hard as it is to believe.
And time? You good?
Yep.
Okay. John, you have 30 seconds.
Yeah, I think that's an arguable point because the research that I did said that there's more KLRs out there doing long distance. So I just think we'd have to maybe go deeper on the data on that issue. But I think, radiators, the radiators makes it more complicated, but every car in the world has a radiator now except for VW bugs or maybe some other obscure. So radiators aren't that big a deal and it's universally used. So I would say given the comfort issues, the KLR for a world traveler is a much better choice.
All right. And time. Good job. All right. Bagel, do you have a question for them?
Wow. This is tough. I'm not really a motorcycle rider, so I'm a little unsure what to ask, but what's the top speed of each motorcycle?
I don't know if you want to know the top speed on either one of these. I think the KLR is probably 105 maybe, if you're winging it out.
How about this? Do you mind, Bagel, if I ask a question related to this?
Go for it.
I will ask a question. The reason that these bikes are really created is that they can do street and dirt. Can you please tell me how well they function in street versus dirt? And John, you will start on this one.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, I mentioned it earlier. The KLR has a fairing, and has a suspension that you can out the gate you can adjust to go softer or harder depending on how you want to do it. And the rear end, the Unitrack suspension actually makes it a little smoother and easier to ride on the street.
And the dirt? You have 10 seconds.
Oh yeah, the dirt. Well, DR has the edge in the dirt, 100%. I'll say that, but again, not as much to. I think most of us aren't riding 100% in the dirt.
Thank you. All right, Emma. Street versus dirt for your bike. How does it compare?
Well, once again, the DR is the lighter bike. It's a far more agile bike. It's way ahead of the KLR in the dirt. And having done some miles on the street, they are very, very stable on the street. It's 5-way adjustment on the rear shock, exactly the same as the KLR. No adjustment on the front, but it's a burly front end. It doesn't need it.
Okay, thank you very much. Judge, you have one more question?
I do, and I think again it can be asked to both people. Help me understand, and I'm not picking on it, but the KLR has this image of the dad magnet bike, but the DR doesn't have that image. Maybe you both could speak to why does the KLR have that stigma? Back to the Jocelyn Snow comment. KLR is a great bike. I've ridden yours in Hollister. It's a great dirt bike. I dig it. Don't take it the wrong way, but
all right. Emma, do you have a response for this?
And I don't. I mean, it's just the truth is some bikes are very, very cool and some bikes ain't. And there's no real reason for it, but rightly or wrongly, the KLR just ain't cool. And the DRR is. And I'm not saying for a moment that's fair, but that's kind of how it is. It might be, I think, that the DR makes a better super motard.
Okay, stop.
Can I ask a question?
Well, I didn't get a chance to respond.
John gets to respond to that.
Yeah.
I think the milk crate has done a horrible disservice to the KLR. So if you take away the milk crate issues, I think you lose some of the dad factor.
Okay. Well done. All right, and we'll do one final question from Bagel. Bagel, what is your question?
Yes. So maybe a more important question to ask is, what is the weight of each of these bikes? How do they compare weight wise?
It's hard to say. Well, there's three weights for Gen 1, 2, and 3 on the KLR, so that makes it a little funky.
John, do you have your answer prepared?
Yeah, there's 3 different weights, so it's hard to say.
What is the weight of the current Gen 3 or the Gen 2 that you ride?
It's about 50 pounds heavier than the DR.
Okay. Emma, do you need to answer about the weight?
It's 50 pounds lighter than the KLR. What do you need to know? It's when you ride the 2, it actually transcends the 50 pounds. The DR is a way more agile bike. It's like you're sitting on a racehorse versus some clumpy old Clydesdale. They're that different.
For some reason, so we were in the... Wait, you and your rules.
Okay.
Weren't we in the car with Phil at AMA years ago? And you were talking about they made a DR650?
Yes.
What a bike that would be?
Yes.
Okay. Judges, you now have to decide, based upon our contestants here, which is the superior bike.
I have one final question, and it's a one-word answer.
Okay.
If we know, where are the bikes made? Where are they manufactured?
I think the KLRs are made in Thailand now.
Still Japan. Always have been, always will be. It's a flagship model.
Okay. Jim, have you made up your mind?
Yes.
And who has won the debate to you?
Well, I don't know how we define win. I think they're all winners here. There are no losers here.
Which is the superior bike?
Well, again, I think it gets back to what makes you feel good when you throw a leg over it. That's what it is. I mean, for me, my personal preference, and I'm biased because I've owned a DR350 and I loved it till I killed it. But I think the DR, I think for me, carburation would be something to consider. And is it better to go from sea level to 20,000 feet with a carbureted bike?
The new ones don't have carburetors.
Okay, I need the judges to give a speech.
Oh, sorry, I get excited. Talk about motorcycles.
I know. Bagel, have you decided, according to the contestants, what is the superior bike? And if there is a tie, I will be the tiebreaker.
No, I too have been sold on the DR.
Oh,
it's made in Japan. That's kind of one of the.
Well, what did it for me is the fact that it's lighter and simpler. As somebody who has traveled long distances on bikes, of many types, there are, with more complex bikes, there are more possibilities of things to break and problems to have on the road. And having something that's simple and reliable is really, that's a valuable thing to have when you have only yourself to rely on. So, that's one of the things that sold it for me. Plus the fact that it's lighter. And Emma's saying that it's been updated with better handling.
25 years ago. 25 years ago.
It's been updated.
KLR was updated last year.
Okay. Well, I say this not having ridden either one of them. So,
well, and Emma, you've ridden neither of them in the dirt, correct?
No, because generally I'm not a dirt rider. And
right.
That's not my. And it's interesting that of the two, I would far favor a DR650, even though my natural habitat is not really in the dirt, even though it's a far superior dirt weapon.
Well, first off, I want to say congratulations, Emma. You have won the first ever debate club.
And I think the important thing is, before we get a bunch of hate mail, these are both very, very similar bikes. And, the KLR is a very, very capable bike.
And as to that, but I don't necessarily agree that there's more DR650s out there in the world. I've encountered them both.
Right.
But I know personally more people who've traveled extensively on KLR650s. I have to say, though, I love the KLR for all the reasons. It's just, it's like the mutt, but it's just fun. And I like the styling better. But I have to say, I've been seeing people riding the other week. We had some people on the ride on the DR650, and I was impressed with how narrow it was compared to the KLR650, which has those giant plastics. The KLR having the bigger tank, to me, makes it better as a long-distance touring bike, but the DR650, to me, looked better as an actual hitting the dirt bike, and I'm kind of intrigued by it. And I'm also kind of feeling like maybe it's time to sell the KLR and try a DR650, because that's what we love to do. We love to experience bikes and to try them.
Here's a top tip for anybody who owns either of these bikes, and it's worth noting they're both exactly the same in this respect. They're both capable of enormous mileages. One of the few medium capacity bikes, and both of them can go way over 100,000 miles, but you have to look after them. And both of them are greedy with oil, and both of them need regular oil changes. Any big singles like that, the oil pump's a great deal away from great distance away from the greediest part of the engine, the camshaft. So regular oil changes, very, very good quality oil, and keep on top of the valve clearances. And they're both capable of monster mileages.
I think
my next bike, largely because Liza's bullying me into going dirt riding, will be a DR.
Well, it'll be interesting, Liza, is if you were to, say, pick up a DR650 and then compare that to your KTM 990, because there's like a 100-pound difference. So that, I think, is where you're trading.
990 or 690?
Oh, I think I did a 990. What's the weight on a 690?
My 690 Enduro?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
But it's good.
Like 400 something maybe. I'm not good at this.
Yeah, 350 pounds. Oh, okay. So it's not that much.
It's 50 pounds.
Yeah, not terribly heavier. Anyway, it makes a difference, but.
Oh, no, for me, there's no competition. The KLR and the DR do not compare to my 690 Enduro. But that's why I wanted to do this. These two bikes are so close in comparison. And they both are great at nothing, good at everything. So I think I want to experience a DR650. Hopefully Emma will get one.
Okay, I quit.
I have ridden a DR650, and interestingly enough, it was up a mountain in Pakistan.
Is that right?
Really?
Yeah. When my first time there, we ran into some other travelers on GS 1200s. There was a Transalp from Australia, so it was a newer Transalp, and a DR650 fully loaded. This guy was from England, and he's riding around the world. And so it was fully loaded, kitted out with everything. And he let me ride his bike for a bit, and it felt very stable. But it was like fully loaded for around the world travel.
Right.
Not the nimble bike that I see some local.
if you actually see them in a naked form, you get to respect them a lot more. I mean, they've got giant forks on them.
Way more dirt bikey looking.
Yeah,
like you said, more narrow profile.
Looks more like the DRZ 400.
It's actually a lot burlier. The forks on it are way burlier than a DRZ 400. It's got these massive forks on it, which is what really kind of does it for me. And just this easy switch out back end so you can get a couple of inches out the back. And I've seen a couple of them tricked out as super motards with the 17 inches. God almighty, they're so fucking gorgeous with those 17-inch wheels on.
Thank you.
They really are great looking bike.
Thank you, John and Emma.
Yeah, thank you
for trying this out. John, you did a great job. And I would like to know from our listeners, what two bikes do you think we should debate? What are some similar bikes? Like Jim was like, oh, maybe we can debate Africa Twin versus the
Tenere.
Super 10.
Super 10. You know, or maybe a Ninja versus a CBR.
Or a GS versus a KTM 1290.
Vespa versus Lambretta.
There you go.
Oh, Vespa versus Lambretta.
V-Star versus Harley.
Ooh, Bagel, do you think you could get one of your scooter friends to come on for that debate, and then we can be the judges?
Oh, yes.
We might be able to work something like that out.
Maybe
we'll
we
see.
get, okay. So, yeah, I would like to hear from you what you would like to hear debated. Do you guys think this is a good we can do debates in the future?
Yeah, I think it's a good way to explore, the strengths and weaknesses of bikes. In a fun environment without saying that thing's crap.
We could do Hayabusa versus Concourse 1400.
Yes. CBR, or I was going to say the Blackbird.
Actually, the Hayabusa, its cultural nemesis, I think would probably be the ZX14.
Yeah.
That was close.
Yeah, it's close.
Yeah.
But, it's kind of the Hayabusa ZX14.
Harley versus Indian.
Yeah.
I could do that one.
I will fight anyone who trashes my Harley.
Oh, maybe Emma and I need to do Harley versus Indian.
So would you against the Sportster? What would be the...
I will wear my...
Oh, no. Okay, yeah.
I will wear my leather chaps and leather vest, especially for the interview.
The tassels.
Yes.
Will you show off your tramp stamp?
My assless chaps.
Your tramp stamp?
No, I'll get one drawn on, especially.
You guys, I don't know if you realize, and a lot of people don't, which I think is just amusing whenever I'm accused of Harley bashing. I have a tattoo of a Harley, right?
You have a Harley in your Christmas sweater.
I have a Harley tattooed on my arm.
Do you really?
I do.
Homer Simpson's riding it backwards with a donut on his ding dong.
Oh, she's stripping that donut.
Shazam!
That, here, look, see?
That's a flower.
That is a Harley.
It is indeed a Harley.
Yeah.
Yeah?
There you go. I have a Harley tattoo, guys.
Oh.
So
no, and I mean, forgive us for not noticing, but Liza is quite heavily inked, I think is the correct term.
Inked.
Is she inked?
Yeah.
Not black, inked.
So forgive us for not noticing that, but that is definitely a Harley dashboard and fuel tank.
Well, and I'd be curious. We didn't even get into the stats on crashes. I'm curious which of those two bikes has more crashes and can take abuse. I know my KLR takes a lot of abuse. Doesn't even get dinged up. You know who would be able to tell us? Law Tigers.
Roar!
They're great.
They're great.
Hey, have you been involved in a motorcycle accident?
Yep.
You need...
It's not if, it's when.
Several.
Still, yeah, right. Still seeking acupuncture.
You need to call 1-800-LAW Tigers. Your case evaluation is free, and they don't get paid until you get paid. They should be the first call you make after a motorcycle accident. Why? Because they fight for motorcycle riders and their families to get the compensation they deserve. Because you have to remember, too, your family may need to be... If you
Those
lost
guys?
a lot, well,
It's true.
when somebody gets, I'm just going to say, killed on a bike, the family's just dealing with the death. They're not thinking about, suing somebody or getting, compensated for it. Law Tigers, let them handle it for you. They know how to do it. They've got over 20 years of experience, and they will handle your case with the respect and dignity dignity you deserve. The insurance company, you have to remember, they don't want to pay out. They're not going to make it easy. They're going to give you the lowest settlement they can. In fact, I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this. Never take the first offer, right? Have you learned that trick, Emma? If they send you a check, do not take it. Instead, hire an attorney to handle it. So go to 1-800-LAW-TIGERS and get the help that you need. Rawr. Because they're great.
They are great. Rawr, law tigers.
And darn nice people, I will say.
Yeah, and we've been around the law tigers people for many, many years, and they're really nice folk. Yeah. And they will help you.
No, I mean, it is true. There is a need for motorcycle-specific attorneys. Bottom line. Don't go to your friend's sister. You need, because that's what a lot of people do. When you need an attorney, you want to be referred by somebody. Don't just go to the one on the billboard, even though Tigers has a billboard.
Uncle Vinny
you know what I mean.
is not going to help you.
Guys, so next weekend is New Year's.
Yes, it is.
We're going to do a thing on New Year's Day.
Oh, yes.
Bagel, I wish you were down here. We are going to be going to do Bad Matt's Flat Track.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've done this. It's just a backyard flat track party. It's just idiots on small bikes and kids and barbecue and usually some dogs running around. Good times. It's been a while. I'm looking forward to it, and it's all outdoors.
Is it like the barrel racing at Vintage Motorcycle Days?
Kind of.
Yeah.
A shrunken down version.
It's a lot smaller than that.
Just go left.
Will there be any dinosaur girls? No?
No uniform girls. But just good. We're going to go have some fun and hang out with people. But it being the new year coming up, I wanted to ask a question of all of you, and to our listeners too. We often get people suggesting good interviews.
Yes.
Which I appreciate it. Itchy Boots is one we've gotten a lot, and I've been waiting for her to get up here, so it'll be a while.
It's going to be a while.
She's coming. But I want to know from you, Misfits, what would be your dream interview? Because remember, we've had a bunch of dream interviews in the past. I mean, for me, Debbie Evans, the stunt woman, she was one I waited years to get. Emma, one of your favorites.
Well, there's been so many. Oh, God, Wes was such a good interview.
Who was on the cover of the AMA magazine recently?
Who?
Wes.
Yeah, of course he was.
I said who was, yeah.
Yes.
And yeah, now that he's passed.
I would love Valentino Rossi.
Okay, so, all right. So I wanted to hear from you guys. I'm going to write them down. Who are your dream interviews? Oh, I know one of yours, Jim. Airy.
Yes. Who?
Airy.
Airy.
Yeah.
Oh, Henning. Yeah.
Airy
Oh, yeah, they'd be great. Yeah, Airy would be great.
Airy and Zach.
I mean, they make such accessible videos. If you haven't checked out MC Garage, and they've done all sorts of stuff since then, but very accessible stuff.
So I'm making a list because sometimes I just go for it. I throw out invites all the time. You want Rossi? Okay, it might be hard, but okay.
Willie G.
Really?
Yeah. Why not?
Okay.
He's got a lot to say. His history, his pedigree.
I met him once at the precursor to the Quail, the one that was up in Half Moon Bay.
Yeah. Legends
of the Motorcycle. Yeah, he was there. They had him judging the Harley Davidsons. What a great guest. So Emma, who's on your list for this 2022?
He's quite a polarizing figure, especially for our English listeners. But I think Henry Cole would be a great interview.
You know what? I do have a contact for him.
I think we should reach out again because there is a story behind this. A couple of years ago, they reached out to us.
Yeah.
And everything kind of fell apart largely because of the pandemic, but I think we should chase that.
Yeah, you don't know this yet. Henry Cole. Have you ever heard this name?
No, this is new to me.
So he's a British guy, biker guy, but other stuff. He's, how do you describe? So he has different TV shows over there, but one of them that I really love that you can find on the internet, It's the one where they go search garages. He and his buddy go out, and it's kind of like Pickers.
Yeah, okay.
And they go out and search garages for cool stuff, but he's always finding bikes and stuff like that. And then he has other TV shows he's done over there that were just about bikes and restoring and interviewing.
He's quite an interesting character. I can't remember if he's actually directly related to Lady Diana or kind of peripherally, but he's that kind of character. I mean, he battled drug addiction in the 80s. I think he was a heroin addict. He lived in a squat. But a very, very interesting character and a lot to say about motorbikes.
Basically, British micro. And so when he was potentially coming on our show, I started watching his shows.
Right.
I got into it. I kept watching Henry Cole stuff. Really, really cool guy.
Yeah, I think
his bikes.
And he's very animated. He's very articulate. And he's very much like me. Through the ups and downs of our life, we've always maintained this love of motorcycles, and we've always championed motorcycles, even when it wasn't as fashionable to do as it is now. And, he's kind of a kindred spirit like that. So cool. I would love to have a chat with Henry, see what he has to say for himself.
I'll throw another fun one because I was looking at the new Matrix movie came out because I was thinking Keanu.
Keanu would be great.
I don't think Keanu will ever talk to us again.
No, we definitely got blacklisted. But I was thinking of the stunt coordinator for that movie because there are motorcycles in it and all that. Might be a little tough. But remember the guy we did Jocelyn's class with, the stunt guy? He was actually a legit stunt man, so he might be actually an interesting interview because he showed us videos of motorcycle stunts that were nuts. But he walked us through the entire process. I love stunt people.
So, interestingly enough, they had, just last week, they had the premiere at the Castro Theater.
Oh, get out.
In San Francisco, because a lot of the film was set in San Francisco, filmed in San Francisco. And for the premiere, they had a bunch of people, bringing people up on bikes.
Cool.
And Shalina Moreta.
How did we miss out on that? How did we not at least roll
Shalina
by?
Moreta, the racer. I think she might have done stunt work, but she was actually one of the hired guns to bring in the host on the back of her motorcycle and then speed off.
I bet she looked good too.
Oh yeah, she looked good. So I'm going to say my 3, and these aren't necessarily people that I know we can get or anything, but you know what? Every year we kind of just make a little wish list. Guy Martin.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Got it. I mean, come on.
Yes.
Though I just don't, it's hard to understand.
I think you'd get one word in 3.
Oh, wait, we have an interpreter right here.
Yeah, we did, don't we?
And he would insult us the entire time, deservedly so.
And then Shalina Moreta would be pretty cool. And then there's one that I think has a good chance will happen that I've been working on. Do you know who Ricky Rocket is?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
You do?
Yes.
Poison.
Exactly. He's the drummer from Poison.
Yeah.
Well, he's a huge biker as well.
Yeah. And scooterist.
And scooter. He loves, and this is what I love about him. He loves everything. All two-wheeled bikes. Dirt biking, adventure. He got a Pan America recently. Customs, Harleys, sport bikes, everything. Bagel, you know who else has been seen riding a scooter around?
Who's that?
Do you have Bieber fever?
Yes, I've heard about this.
Yeah, Justin Bieber. He got a Vespa.
Nice.
Well, apparently he's working with Vespa, and they're designing a special scooter.
Oh,
I might have a connection to him too.
That will be the best Vespa ever made by far. Right, Bagel?
We shall see.
Hey, I would like to say for the record that I respect Justin Bieber. I do. I think he's a very interesting and creative and artistic person.
I think we just lost half our listenership.
Hey, I don't care.
Liza's looking at me like I care. I'm like,
I'm just saying. Yes, and I love the Jonas Brothers too. Okay.
I tell you who I think would be a really good quirky interview.
Yeah.
Anne Margaret.
She's still around?
Fun. Yeah, I think she's still alive. I don't think she rides her bikes anymore, but she would be a rather interesting interview. She's had a love of triumphs.
I'll put that on your list.
So long.
Did Elvis get her into it?
No, she was into it before then.
Interesting. So I've got a couple more. Charlie Borman would be great. I'd love to have Ewan too, but I think Charlie's a better, easier shot. And I would love to interview Cameron Bobier.
There you go.
Moto 2, American racer up in the MotoGP world. That would be fun to have him now. And
Okay. Well, we've got our little list.
Well,
and checking it twice.
What about me too?
Bagel, what about you?
Yeah. Well, since you guys brought it up, I think we deserve a second shot. I think we should interview Keanu Reeves, and I would be willing to do it. I think I'd be able to do a better job than that knucklehead I did the last time.
What you mean? You're not going to put your arm around him and say, "Oh, I love you."
No.
All right.
No, I actually would really like to pick his brain about motorcycles. I think it would be a great time.
I mean, I've talked to him, not recording, talked to him about Arch motorcycles. He's approachable and easy to talk to.
Yeah.
So,
and really nice guy.
Yeah, nice guy and all that.
Yeah, and I would love to interview him. But assuming that that's probably not going to happen, the other person I was thinking of who I'd really love to interview is Nicola L'Impenatore,
I can't write that down.
He is the Vespa Wheelie King of Italy.
Oh, Vespa Wheelie King.
Yeah, he's the guy that just takes out the whole front fork of his bike because he just doesn't need it, and he just rides on the rear wheel down the road.
Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah, just look up his videos on YouTube. The Nicola L'Impenatore, the Vespa Wheelie King.
All right. Real quick, I have an announcement. I've now sold out of the large T-shirts. These are the last year's shirts that I'm selling out of. But I still have the special deal. $15 includes shipping. I throw in some stickers. Okay. If you would like a Motorcycles and Misfits T-shirt in a small or a medium, and this is our black T-shirt with the cool retro imagery on it, again, the racers. Just send a PayPal to recyclemotorcyclegarage@gmail.com. And I'll get that shipped out.
And that's the greatest incentive ever to get that summer body. So knock off the starchy foods, do a few Swedish exercises.
I'm going to put a goal so I can fit into a small by the summer.
Get yourself into a medium.
And for you guys who forgot to get the perfect present for your wife for Christmas, here's your chance to make up for it.
Yeah, exactly. I think we have time to read some emails. Emma, will do yours last. You got a real short one there.
I do. So this is from Murray Benefield, and the title is Murray Christmas.
I like it.
Wishing you all the best for the silly season, Misfits. Just an update. I traded the Royal Enfield Classic 350 on a 2022 Royal Enfield Continental GT.
Nice.
Best Christmas gift ever. Absolutely. Now I could start converting the Matchless to Salt Lake land speed mode. We'll keep you posted.
Oh, that's cool.
Stay upright, guys and gals. Cheers, Muzz.
Hey.
I wonder what land speed record, which category.
Well, remember, Emma, remember when we interviewed Stacy? She was riding, was it a Matchless?
Yes.
Yeah. So what was that? It's not just displacement. It's cylinders and valves and all these different things that get into that category.
That's right. Cool. Good luck.
Yeah.
Great.
I have a quick one here, and this is from Jordan.
Hey, Jordan.
Says, hey, everyone. Merry Christmas. This is Jordan from Buffalo. I'm 24 years old.
Jordan.
And cold.
Welder, fabricator, machinist as a career, and going to school for mechanical engineering.
Nice.
This guy can build anything.
I know.
We need one of them around here.
We do.
I would love some input about my old 1977 KZ650. Has a bad starter clutch problems and parts for everything. We would need to make this thing right. Are hard to find. Are there any websites for parts and advice about rebuilding this old bitch?
Oh, yeah.
That's the first question. You going to answer that?
Yeah. And we'll go to the second question.
Old Bike Barn. And I used to get Kawasaki parts from, was it the Old Cowman? Do you ever use him?
Yeah, I mean, the...
KAWMAN?
Yeah. And what's the second question?
Yeah, I thought we were going to the second question.
Well, but I wanted to give you it's a different subject. So you want to answer the first?
So, everything is still available for that KZ. Mm-hmm. CSMNL, Everything comes out of Holland. Very easy to use website. I order them all the time. Stuff from Europe usually comes in, well, on the East Coast, it'll probably come in less than a week. The only disadvantage is everything's priced in euros, so it can get a little expensive. And if you buy stuff in dribs and drabs, you get dinged on the postage, so it's better to make a little shopping list and buy everything and then get it shipped over. But he's got everything.
And I have to correct myself, oldcowman.com. He's the 900, KZ900 and KZ1000 is what he specializes in.
But CSMNL.
And they are announcing that they have lower shipping rates. They've lowered their shipping rates for all countries.
Right.
Nice.
All right, and his second question.
Yes.
Is what kind of bike should I get next? I'm starting to get the itch to ride again and want to keep my GS500F and get a second bike that's faster and everything. I'm looking at a Gixxer 600 and 750. I'm 5'10", 190 pounds or so. Is a sport bike good as a daily rider? Is it going to be as comfy as my GS500?
No. But it doesn't matter because at his age,
he's also found a 2015 FZ09 and a 2013 FZ8 for sale near him, or a 2007 Suzuki M109R, or any year Harley V-Rod would also tickle his fancy. Any advice would be great. Thanks, guys. Love you all. Miss Emma is my dream girl.
Oh, what a cutie.
So, I mean,
God, he's
all over the place. So you want a second bike that's faster than the GS500?
Well,
that's not real hard.
No, it's not. I mean, God, he's all across the board there, isn't he? Those M109s are a fucking weapon. It's like a cruiser. But
yeah, it's a muscle cruiser.
God, they're done
big fat tire,
and they go like stink.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, funnily enough, he's virtually the same dimensions as I am.
Say the Bandit. Say the Bandit. It'll answer all his questions.
Well, yeah. I mean, Bandit's good. No, he's a bit young for a Bandit. You want something cooler than a Bandit.
I've commuted. I've commuted on upright sport bikes for like the last 7 years, and FC6, and then the FZ1. So I would say for a commuter, do a sport bike, dude. But maybe don't.
Right.
Sport bikes are a hoot to commute on because they're easy. I mean, you look and squirt. There you go. You're right there.
And out of the FZ08 and the FZ09, I'd go for the 9.
Yeah, do it
because I like that triple.
That triple, yeah. Do the FZ09.
Yeah, do the 9. Get that nice triple soundtrack, and they're good.
Yeah, we've seen those on the track, even the go-kart track, and those things rip.
And I'm just going to throw out one more, because this has been a staple in the sport bike community, riding. And if he's a newer rider, I still think it's an acceptable bike. Is the
KLR650?
No, I had it and I just lost it.
Stretch booster?
No, the Suzuki 650.
Suzuki?
The Suzuki
DR650?
No,
the best
sport bike.
Bergman 650?
Sport bike. Upright. They can get fully faired or half faired.
Oh, the SV?
The SV650. There we go. The SV650. They've made them for years. It's a twin. It really pulls strong. I mean, you want more power. It has the power.
Yeah.
But it is
agile.
It's a great bike, easy to find, easy to repair and maintain.
Yeah. Right.
This is why they were so popular. The best bang for the buck in a sport bike. And you have different versions. Like I said, you have half fairing, full fairing. You have you can get it with the clip-ons or the risers.
Yes.
All different versions. An SV650 is a great bike. You'll have all sorts of fun with it.
Actually, you know what, Liza? Because normally some of your selections are not altogether logical. That is a great idea. I'm a huge fan of the SV650. In fact, it was so good. About 10 years ago, they replaced it, and there was so much public outrage. They canned the
Gladius.
Gladius, which is actually the Gladius is a very good bike, but woefully styled. I mean, the headlight looked as if it had melted.
I think the bigger problem is that it seemed it was a little bit scaled down, It came in like powder blue, and they had a woman riding it in the promotional video for it.
Right.
They were making a bike trying to cater to the female population. This was 10 years ago when women riders were really starting to gain some traction.
Right.
I think that was the death of it. And they called it the Gladius, which sounds like the Gladiator, but to me sounded more like my grandma Gladys. I think
it makes me think of the gluteus.
Yeah, I think that there were just some things that it was just
put it next to a
mismarketed.
Maximum, you'd have a
I think it was a good
Maximum.
bike.
You know, it reminds me of the very, very first. Do you remember a car manufacturer called Daihatsu?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know the name of their first model, which was rapidly changed? It's called the D-Bag. Absolutely true.
Was it? I don't remember if it was Daihatsu. There was one of them when they first introduced them. They had commercials. Whenever the guy said Daihatsu, somebody went Gesundheit. Do you remember that?
That's funny.
No.
But yeah, so SV650, very, very good choice.
That's my recommendation.
Just get a bike. Just get a bike.
Yeah, I mean,
It'll be great.
you can get them everywhere. I think SV650 is a great.
I think he should get an M109 and just scare the living shit out of himself. That's what I think.
Yeah.
I mean, he's only 24.
Okay. Well, and
He's
now
just a wee man.
we've saved the best for last. Emma,
Yes.
you have an email to read there.
I do. And it's from Matt Gunther. Dear Miss Emma, it's to me.
Yes.
Happy holidays. My name is Matt. I was born and raised in Tennessee. I love
Matt.
bourbon, beer, and working on bikes.
Yeah.
Will you marry me, Matt?
Bourbon, beer, and bikes.
I'm surprised it's taken me so long to write the Misfits a letter. I found your podcast early last year and must have listened to almost 200 episodes to this point.
Ooh,
Thank you all for your contribution.
What'd you go to jail for?
Don't be mean, Jim. Everybody knows that going to jail is compulsory in Tennessee. Thank you all for your contribution to our two-wheeled religion. I have to say that after much soul-searching, I am pretty sure that Naked Jim is my spirit animal.
Oh, my.
And
he is in jail.
I'm absolutely sure that Emma is the greatest moto genius alive right now. However, he's saying, I'm unsure how much gin you need to drink in order to hit your level of enlightenment, but I'm up for the challenge. Good man, you should drink a lot of gin. It's wonderful. Let me tell you about the luck I've had recently. I love old bikes. My wife tolerates this love. One of my best friends has a family heirloom, a 1967 BSA B44 Shooting Star, which is also, it's the Street Victor, that her father would likely describe as a prized possession. It's been in their family since purchase new in Chicago 55 years ago. Wow. I've been drooling over this thing for about 5 years since I learned of its existence. It has 7,000 on the odometer, and sure, if it's miles or kilometers, that's going to be miles, darling. And it's in pretty great shape, although not running. I'm guessing it hasn't been used since 1972, which is the tax tag year featured on the license plate. I know it hasn't run in the last 10 years. At some point, the original red and cream fiberglass tank was swapped for a metal Victor alternative, but other than that, it's totally stock down to the factory wheels. I got a text about 3 weeks ago that my friend's parents were moving, downsizing, and looking for a home for this BSA. Relic! Relic, he calls it. None of the family children wanted it. Well, that's because they're crazy, and I agree there. So I'm writing to you as the proud owner of a made-in-England original, just like me, darling. Ooh. Emma, this thing isn't running and is absolutely a restoration in the works for 2022. Can you throw me a deep, dark and disorienting history hole on this thing? Yes, I will, and I'll do it next week as well. What do I need to know? Oh, you need to know everything, darling. Is it worth me digging for an original fiberglass tank, or do you have a source for great metal replicas? Yes, I do. Anything worth knowing before I crack a beer and get to work? Am I supposed to get an erection while tickling this carb? Yes. If you've got a willy, you should get an erection at any time, spontaneously. Much love, give it the fucking beans. And he's included a picture, and this is an absolutely marvellous thing. Nice. And it's all original. The tank isn't, and I'm going to tell him how to get a hold of a tank. It's a beautiful bike. So, no, these BSA 441s, they're quite lively, actually. I mean, it's basically the size of a 250.
There's something after the picture you didn't read.
Oh, I'm going to. Okay. We're going to come to that.
Great.
So I'll do a bit of a history hole on it. We need to reunite this with an original style tank because it's everything. I mean, the tank was super stylized on these bikes, and they're available in a metal replica, but you have to kind of look elsewhere.
Was it yellow and red? Was it?
No, that's the Victor.
Okay.
You have to look at the 441 Shooting Star. So the Victor is the off-road model. If you look at the 441 Shooting Star, you'll see his bike. So what he's done, and this is a PS after the picture, and I'm not going to read all these because some of them are terribly rude. Did you find a picture of it, Jim?
Like a nice cherry red almost.
Yeah, it's a good-looking bike, isn't it?
Very cool.
Yeah.
It's a BSA.
Yes, it is.
So, Jim, you're going to like this. He sent us a little...
So, P.S.,
Yeah.
I'm attaching a link that shows a lot of British slang in hopes to better able the other Santa Cruz misfits to communicate with Emma in her native tongue. I recommend you all start a page. All start with the page featuring Beaver.
Wait, what?
So,
Beaver?
yes. So, apparently this is it. How many pages were there of this?
Oh, many pages of this cluster. I just printed out one page.
So,
wow.
What we're going to do...
These are some British terms and the definition.
Yes, so I'm going to be selective in this. Very selective. So let's talk about a bearded clam. Would you like to know what a bearded clam is?
I think I have an idea.
That's the
Is that a restaurant.
It's a noun. It's female genitals inclusive of pubic hair. Beast with two backs.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah,
I don't.
it's the active.
Yes, it's a noun.
Bacon.
Two people in the act.
Yes, it's noun, the imaginatively named figure that represents a couple during sex. Jocular usage. That's beaver lever.
The old beaver lever.
Wait, spell lever.
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 Beaver lever.
Apparently something you lever a beaver with.
Yes, it's a noun, and it's your willy. And I use this one daily. Bedfordshire.
Bedfordshire.
I had no idea on that one.
A nice little town in England.
It's actually a noun, and it means I'm going to bed.
Oh.
So, I will be sitting watching TV, and I'll be like, I'm heading to Bedfordshire.
Emma, so there's beaver lever, and there's beaver lever. Leaver.
Yes, and a beaver lever.
Do you have any guess, John?
Yes.
No idea.
So a beaver lever is a gay man because he's not interested in beaver.
I thought that was the one driving the U-Haul truck.
Yes. Oh God, no! Some of these.
What was the one after that?
Let's have a look. Bedfordshire bedsit. A bedsit. Do you know what a bedsit is?
Mm-mm.
It's a noun, and it's a bedsitter or bed sitting room, a very small apartment whereby the bedroom also serves as a sitting room, which you Americans would call a studio. Studio is a bed sit in England. Let's find another one. Yes. So we'll do.
Some of these are
no. I mean, some of these are just completely unsuitable.
Just go for it. This is the end. This is a disclaimer. If you have children, stop listening now. Go for it, Emma.
No, I'm not going to.
Go for it, Emma.
No. Let's just do beef. What is beef? What is beef?
I'm not saying nothing.
I got beef with you.
Yes, well, that's the second.
There's curtains.
Yes, there are beef curtains.
Yep, that's on there too.
Oh no!
And that's
the kids that left
and
the
the
room.
origin of that is American. It's not English.
It's also a roast beef sandwich.
There's beef. There's a beef bayonet.
Oh my! The beef bayonet. That's for battle in the trenches.
Is that your willy?
That's your willy.
Your wee willy winky when it runs through the.
But no,
town.
if we go back to beef, it's a noun. And the first is it's a muscly, strong-looking male. And it's quite informal. And the second one, which you got, Bagel, was it's a complaint. Mm-hmm. Example, if you've got a beef about the decision, then fill in the fucking forms. So there you go. And
Americans might recognize the first one as beef cake, perhaps?
Yes, perhaps. Mm-hmm. You know, and there's lots of... I like the one beddable. Beddable.
Beddables. Those are snacks you can eat in bed.
Oh, behave.
Yes, beddable is sexually desirable, which means it's being good enough to take to bed. So I'd say, that Jimmy's very beddable, isn't he?
I got a nice bed of straw for us.
So there you go.
Chips.
Some rude, some not so rude.
There you go. So thank you.
Totally good.
But I like the beaver lever.
The beaver lever.
So just briefly, because he can start his search now. So, Matt, there are two sources to get a steel version of the tank that's on your bike. The tank that's on it's wrong, and it doesn't look right on the bike because he's got a Victor tank on it. And if you look at the picture, you can see it's a glorious shooting star.
Oh, beautiful.
With a little aluminium.
I see what you're about the tank, though.
Victor tank on it. And it needs the stylish one. Now, in England, that bike, you could buy that bike, and it had a metal tank, because up until a certain point, fiberglass tanks were banned, so they had to have a steel version of the tank. So a tank off a Barracuda is exactly the same shape, but chrome steel. And I think some of the Indian manufacturers are actually doing knockoff tanks for Barracudas. And they're chrome and everything. And they're quite cheap. They're like $300 or something. And the quality's not brilliant, but it's good enough. Alternatively, if you want the real deal, I am pretty sure that a tank from a 1969 Firebird is metal and is exactly the same shape as your Shooting Star tank. The difference being where your Shooting Star tank was white, it's chrome. And they're very handsome tanks. But you've got to think outside the box. But I tell you what, this is a lovely, lovely bike. And it's not going to take a great deal to get it on the road.
Yeah, I was just going to mention, because I priced them. They're not terribly, expensive to purchase.
No, you can usually get a decent enough one, $5,000-6,000.
Yeah. But you're not going to blow the bank trying to find parts for it.
You can get everything for it.
Right.
You can get absolutely everything. What I would think I would do in his position is budget. Obviously, you're going to need tires and tubes. I'd put a new wiring harness on it, which is only going to be $100. I'd put a new carburetor on it, which will probably be about the same. And obviously a battery. And, a good quality electronic ignition.
What kind of carb do you put on it?
Oh, an AML.
Okay.
Yeah, the proper AML. But instead of what this bike came with originally, 67. You have a look at that carb.
It's got that big round air filter on it. Is that what that has on it?
No, they're kind of ducted under the side panel on these. It's probably got a very early concentric on it, but you buy them, they're called Premiers now. And it's much better carburetor. Buy a brand new AML Premier, new wiring harness, battery, tyres and tubes. You don't buy this. Did
he say it was running, or was it?
No, it hasn't run in 10 years.
Did he say it turns over?
Oh, it hasn't run since 72, I think.
Well, it hasn't been used since 72, but he said it hasn't been running in at least 10 years. Because, a lot of these old guys, they stop riding them on the street for whatever reason. But they still go out into the garage and start them up and run them up and get the juices going. So it's a wonderful project, and they're lovely bikes. It's like riding around on a big bass drum. because of course it's single cylinder. It's 441 cc, big old pushrod thing with a long stroke. So it's got lots of torque, and they actually move along quite well because it's like the size of a 250. They're tiny, but they've got quite a lot of power, and you can tune the heck out of them. There's a company in England called CCM, which is Clues Competition Manufacturing, and they basically took the concept of the BSA and really extrapolated it to its most wonderful conclusion. And so you can get all these hop-up parts from CCM and just make like a gazillion horsepower and scare the crap out of yourself. So, lucky man.
I'm always impressed with your wealth of knowledge, Emma. We need to really challenge her sometime. I don't know how to, but we'll find it eventually.
Yeah, not after the off the top of your head substitution for a 69 whatever BSA shooting star tank.
I know how we'll challenge her. We'll throw her on a mini bike next week at the flat track races.
Oh, there we go.
God.
Go on, Emma. Don't get hurt.
No, we love her too much.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to give her a paintball gun and she can stand on the side.
No, I like the thought of that.
No, just straight up BB gun.
No, hose.
Not a hose.
Yeah, hose.
I need
hose
that.
is
I
good.
think I'd rather get hit by a BB gun than a hose.
Well, hey, to everyone out there, I know that everyone's getting a lot of inclement weather. So sorry to hear that. This is that time. Buck down, take care. Stay safe. Live vicariously through us. Riding you around. I mean, honestly, if you had to guess, how many weekends in this past year were we not able to go riding?
None.
Maybe 3?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. I mean, well, yesterday was a Saturday you couldn't go ride.
I mean, you could.
You
but
could.
I know, but it
wouldn't be fun.
It wasn't fun. Not too many. We know we are lucky. So that's why we're here. You can enjoy riding through us. Hey, big thanks again. We got some new Patreon subscribers.
Hey, awesome.
Thank you so much for that. That's what I've been buying pizza every week, just digging into the Patreon money and giving back to everyone. So I appreciate it. I'm working on a new t-shirt design. Just a reminder for everyone, all of our Patreon subscribers at the $5 or more, you will be getting a t-shirt sent to you for free. If you are outside of the country, I only ask that you cover shipping. That's it. But the t-shirt is free.
Check out the new video.
Oh, yeah. We dropped the video of Emma of our going to dealerships a couple weekends ago.
Blimey.
Go blimey.
Yeah. Thank you, John, for making that. I'd love for you to do some more videos. Yes. That was good. So, yeah, if you want to see what it looks like. But other people had commented it was really nice to see our faces. Most people say, I just like your voice is better. But, I get it. I get it. Bagel, stay safe there. I'm hoping that at least if you put some good paddle wheels, you can turn your Vespa into a sled.
Well, that's a possibility. I don't know if I have the clearance though underneath the in the rear wheel well.
There's nothing a hacksaw.
Oh, for the paddle. Yeah,
well,
turn it into a snow machine.
That's the problem. Can't hacksaw the fuel tank.
Yeah. Big thanks again to everyone for sticking with us. I mean, end of the year, you guys. What another great year of riding we've gotten through. Everyone's hanging in there with COVID. We're all vaccinated here, so we're able to be in the studio.
Yeah,
I'll throw one thing out. Yeah, all that fucking COVID shit. But
crazy.
You guys have got your trips going, which sound like they're getting busy and full, which is rad. I'll throw it out. I'll commit. So I'm gonna, I think, throw together a little desert party.
Oh,
so it'll probably be in April, maybe the third weekend of April, something like that, middle of April. And I think we may head down to Johnson Valley. And basically, we'll just put the word out. And if people want to meet up in the desert and go to Johnson Valley and have some good desert fun, hopefully the wildflowers are blooming then, but you never know. Anyway, there'll be more to come, but I feel I'll throw it out there now and kind of commit. But yeah, big old hoedown. The only rule is bring firewood.
I want to go just because this is something that you love so much, so I want to experience it.
It is fun.
And hey, remember, end of April is the one show.
It is indeed.
Oh, yeah.
And Tubbo, I've re-entered Tubbo again, so fingers crossed. Mike McCarthy's entered his Sportster, and I think Mike Miranda's entered a couple as well.
Good.
So hopefully, if we get represented by more than one bike, we'll kind of cluster ourselves together and do a little presentation with the garage.
I can put my KLR in if
there you go.
There it is.
Oh, you keep slay me, John. So we're already digging deep, planning stuff. I mean, AMA Vintage Days. I'm going to be going to Americade this coming year.
Oh,
nice.
Upstate New York in June. Yeah.
That's going to be nice and warm.
Not sure exactly what capacity, but I've offered my services and I've been talking to them about that. That's really cool. I didn't know Americade is kind of like Sturgis in that it's not in one location. It's the whole town. And it's spread out throughout the whole town. Yeah. But fortunate for me, one of my Chickastanners, Lily, lives in that town. So she has offered a place to stay and a bike to ride.
Will it be a Harley Davidson?
It will not.
Oh, dear.
It might be a BMW.
A BMW?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. She's got adventure bikes. So lots coming up. Email us. Let us know what other events are happening that you're looking forward to. And don't forget to email us your ideas if you want to have us debate something. You can send that to recyclemotorcyclegarage@gmail.com. And what?
Oh, best police bike.
Oh.
Anyway.
Suzuki GT750P.
Is that from
Japanese home market only.
Oh, wow.
It's the coolest.
Actually,
It's the coolest cop bike.
I was thinking
in
Road
the world.
Warrior.
Can you get those as exports?
GT750.
Huh, interesting.
Which one is the Harley? Is it the FLHTI? Am I making up letters?
Yeah, I mean it's the one with the Eric Buell frame.
What was the Road Warrior?
I'm not going with
Road
that.
Warrior.
Oh,
the
they were all
KZ, wasn't it?
KZ1000s. Yeah, with the backs cut off.
So much. All right. I think it's ready to get out of here. recyclemotorcyclegarage@gmail.com. Thank you, everyone. You can check our links if you want to know our Patreon or our YouTube. It's all in the links. That's it. Thanks, everyone. This is Liza.
Stumpy John.
Emma, darling.
Naked Jim.
Bagel.
And we are out of here.
Cool.